What's up, guys? My name is Justin. Welcome back to the channel today. I know it's been a little while, actually kind of a long while, since I've had a YouTube video out. At least a couple of weeks, but probably more like a couple of months now by the time this actually goes up. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. For starters, I want to clarify, I have not been on the sim regularly or keeping up practice in several months now. I think the last race I did was actually around New Year's. So at time of this recording, it's been probably about 4 months since I've actually been on in my normal routine of being on, and some stuff has happened that is the reason for that. But about 6 or 7 years ago, actually maybe even more than that, sometime before the summer of 2016, so probably about 6 or more years ago, I had a YouTube video out on my, well, actually a series of 4 YouTube videos, but the one I'm talking about was under my old profile, TheKrizel1 #1. And it was a series of videos I did where myself, my mom, my brother, and my dad all took the Pontiac Solstice around the Nordschleife, the Touristenfahrten version of the. And I just want to compare about their driving styles. That was back when I had the Mad Catz Xbox wheel that actually sits on your thighs, and the old red laptop, I guess probably now at this point 15 years old laptop that I no longer have, but that's what I raced on at the time. So definitely an interesting experience. But anyways, my video of my mom going around the Nordschleife in the Pontiac was wildly popular, at least relatively so. I think it has up almost 1,000 views now at this point. I don't know why 1,000 people wanted to watch my mom drive around the Nurburgring, but it was quite entertaining and quite funny in that regard. So, however, I also did one for myself at the same time, I think, as when hers was being recorded, just to see what I could do in the Pontiac Solstice. And my time that day, bridge to gantry, was an 8-minute 11-second lap. And that was kind of right before, I guess, the time that I started taking iRacing really seriously, made a big skill jump and things like that. And since then, obviously, I've gone on to fortunately be one of the better Pontiac drivers. Certainly in the United States, one of the best Pontiac drivers on iRacing that's ever come out of the United States and maybe even the world. So we're going to revisit this. I want to see if I can beat that 8 minutes, 11 seconds. I want to make it clear, very clear, when this goes terribly wrong. I have not practiced at all for this. No testing, no experimentation. We're just going to be running my usual JKR special Pontiac set that I run and have run now for the better part of 5 years in the iRacing Car Challenge. So we're just going to jump into it. I have no idea. It might take one attempt. I just kind of want to see where we'll end up and how this will go. So we're going to find out together, that's for sure. So it looks like everything is set. I got my beautiful purple paint scheme all set and ready to go. Thanks, Russell Despain, for that. Of course, we got, I guess I don't want to hit those things. So do a little bit of tire warming here as we head towards getting this lap started. See what we can do. As soon as we get out of here, we gotta go. And here we go. So we gotta maximize this run up. And now our clock will start when we head under the bridge. And this will be our first attempt at this lap. So I guess we'll put the timer here. You can see how I'm doing along this lap. Like I said a little bit, I will be able to talk during parts of this, but I don't really know exactly how to go. But I am definitely much more proficient in this car now than I was back then. And I do know this track quite well at this point. I knew it well then from my days in Forza. It's not exactly the same, so I have no idea how this is going to go. It may be an absolute disaster, maybe 10 attempts, but beat the thing in there. Probably a little bit too much curb, lost a little bit there, but we'll run this down the hill. I've been racing this, like I said, on Forza, and I'm racing now for the better part of 10 years, just about. I think I got my first Forza game in about 2012, so a little bit squirrely there, but we'll hang on. So about 10 years I've been going around this track, know it quite well. Of course, I do need to also mention that this car is on a completely different tire model. Say that. about a year ago or so now, they put the Solstice on a racing tire. So a totally different level of grip. So I do expect to blow that 8 minutes 11 out of the water, bridge to gantry. But I'm curious to see kind of how it will play out. Just a slight drag of the brake there to make sure everything stays in. Probably didn't need it, but last thing I want to do is go spearing off track. So I do expect this to beat that 8 minutes 11. I guess I hadn't even thought of that, but just for my own sake to kind of see how this plays out here, get a more updated video since that was a terrible camera angle, didn't have OBS software to record or anything like that. But yeah, so this will be something that I can look back on and say I wasn't absolutely terrible. So we'll carry a little bit too much speed over there. We're going to drop a wheel, hopefully not die. Oh, we're dead. Okay, so there's attempt number 1. I did learn a lot though already, so that's kind of what I'm saying. I didn't practice for this. Didn't do any prep. There's that beautiful paint scheme we got a sec here. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, the beautiful metallic purple. So thanks to Russell there, Despain Designs, for putting that together for me. And we'll reset everything. There's our track situation there. I started just noon, default time, noon. 94-degree track temps what we got right now. So we'll reset here and go again. Hopefully I won't need too many of these, but we'll see how long it ends up being. A little bit tight, just to make that first couple corners a little better. I thought it actually went okay for the most part. I can go a little bit more aggressive in turn 1. I guess turn 1 is a full circuit here. Turn 1 is like right up here. But all right, we'll start this over again. So that was okay. I guess we made it through about not quite a quarter of the lap, I guess. There about, 2 minutes and some change of lap time. We'll go again and we'll see if we can do even a little bit better. Let the car wash out here, try to straighten this up down the hill. No steering input. See how we go. Thread it through there. This is where the start finish line is on the Nordschleife, the full Nordschleife. A little bit better through there. Still not great, but that's okay. See if we can weave it down the hill here. Keep it on the road just barely. Tire heat will come up here a couple corners in. Car does get light there over that transition left-hander entry just a little bit. Weave it down through here. Did learn that we don't need to lift up here over the top, and when we get down this part up here, over the first long straight of the line, which this car is not really accustomed to, of course, on this Pontiac. If you know iRacing, it's been in the sim for like 13 years now, basically the entire existence of iRacing. No available gear ratio changes, so we're stuck with this terrible 5-speed, 6-speed, whatever it is that you never use top gear and never use first gear and very rarely use second gear. So keep it pinned up through there. That was pretty good. We're starting to get tire heat now just a little bit. Tires shouldn't wear out in one lap around here even. So I know that my good buddy Matthew Alexander, the current community rep for the PCC, has had this on the schedule now, I think twice. A little bit of a break there just to make sure a nose turns in. The car does get light. Okay, so that's interesting actually. Same spot. But that time the back end went. I want to make sure I wasn't on brakes there. I have had issues still. I've talked about this before as well as I'm just watching this replay here. I have had issues in the past with my pedals. I love the G29 steering wheel. That's interesting. Let's see what the tires were like there on that. Yeah, they weren't weird. Okay, I have had issues with this G29 steering wheel. Or sorry, the pedals, excuse me. I love the steering wheel. I love every part about the wheel, and obviously it was a big break from that Madcast wheel. What the pedals aren't is accurate after use. I've had these pedals now for coming up on 6 years, and they have gotten heavy usage. I mean, we're talking thousands upon thousands of races. So that's, it is what it is, but they definitely are not in their prime any longer, which I guess is kind of to be expected, but still kind of, they miss readings at the top and bottom of the range that they're designed for, so That's okay. I'm a little bit mystified now because I felt like the first time through there, that left-hander, we pushed wide because I carried too much speed. And that time we were slowed down, gotten back on the power, and spun out shallow. So it's very interesting. Just about get the car hooked up. See if we can get through here a little better this time, hopefully. That was okay. That was the best we've made 3 attempts now. Let's try to actually make it past that one corner. Would be nice here. We can run flat down through here. A little bit curve there, but that was better than the previous attempt. Through here, the car is going to get light. Nice and early. Oh God, Justin David. Oh, that is not good. What is going on? See, I told you I didn't practice for this, but it's definitely not fine. So what I'm going to do while we're stopped here once is reset these pedals. That's not what I want, actually, because it puts you back at a checkpoint at this track. What I'm going to do is reset these pedals here real quick, and hopefully that'll give us a little more precision, make me feel better about the outcome of this so far. It's a little bit embarrassing, but that's okay. So let's just get here. I'm so preoccupied now with that one stupid corner. I really can't figure out why I spun out there. We weren't gotten back on the throttle. We got the thing slowed down, and we were over the gas, so I don't know why the car got so light and spin out like that. But see what we can do here. What is this, attempt number 4 now? Jeez, it's pretty sad. I'm kind of glad I decided not to run any of the official races here now, because I'm not sure I would have made it through the race. I had such a terrible string of races between Summit Point and Laguna, and certainly at Spa last season. Just terrible races. Down over like 150 I rating, which will take me forever to make up. Try third. More speed, I think we actually did. Through there, use a little bit of runoff. See if we can get through here well again. Apex corner there is further around. You think that curb goes over the hill, and it keeps disappearing over the hill. Very tricky. We'll try to open this up a little bit. Didn't run quite as wide there. Hold this nice and tight. Slow down for that section there, not run wide. Keep it on the road. Very tricky corner. The car up through here. Turn in. You can use a little bit of these curbs. Some of them you can't. Some of them you can't. A little bit of this curb as well. Run a little bit wide there, but not too bad. That's okay. First time we messed up that section. We can run flat up through here. We already know. And then we'll be back to the point that I keep hitting myself. So we'll try to not to do that this time is the goal. Up the hill there. Find our turn-in point. Perfect. Don't want to pinch the car off too much. Just let it kind of flow through there. Out to the left-hand side. Same thing. Double apex of some sorts here. It's not really a corner, but it is. Down the hill. Line of least resistance. See if we can get this right. We'll try just a little bit of the drag of the brake and then just be prepared for it to snap a little bit. A little bit more cautious that time, but we did make it. Didn't need the downshift there a second, but that's okay. Wasn't sure we were going to slow down. The compression here coming up. One of the craziest parts of the track, especially in traffic, especially at night during the 24 hours. Get the fuel warning, plenty. This is one of the craziest parts, one of the fastest parts of the track, obviously, is right here. See if we can float up through here. It's about a nice brake marker. Go down one gear, turn in through here. Turn in nice and late there. Get a curb back on the power. Wasn't the best through there, but it was good enough. It'll do. Coming up to Jimmy Broadbent's favorite, Rebel Tree. Hello, Rebel Tree. Thank you. Come through here. Gonna have to be very careful through here. A little bit of brake just to get the nose to set in. Thread the needle. Very easy to run out wide there. Very easy to overshoot this corner. It's slower than you think. Feed it through there. A little bit of slide from the rear end still. Definitely didn't need a downshift there, but again, no practice. It's all right. We didn't lose more than a couple of tenths of a second. This is going to be flat through here into miss, hit, miss, which is probably going to be miss, miss, miss for me. Oh, not if we hit the curb. Oh, geez. Yeah, let's not hit the curb there, Justin. That's not good. I like this, though. See, people are going to see that I'm a human, and I do indeed struggle. We don't need to watch that. I know exactly what I did. I hit the curb and miss, hit, miss. I'm starting to think this is going to be like a 2-hour video, though. We got to get through one of these laps. I know we could put a lap together. I'm just trying a little bit too hard, I think. Like I said, I've been out of the seat for a long, long time. I've been building sets every week and testing, but I have not been in a real situation of looking at the clock in quite a long time now. So, all right, what are we on here now? Attempt number 5. So that was a little better. We made it through more of the track, obviously, and learned a little bit more again, but still gotta get through an actual lap here. That miss hit miss section is so tricky because you want to carry speed, obviously, but it's so hard to get the line right in this car because you're not braking or anything for it. You're just kind of floating almost. So we definitely know we don't need to use nearly as much brake and downshift or some of these corners. We did that last time. I missed at least 2 shifts there. So best we've gotten through there, in there pretty hard. Felt good. I'm kind of concerned, not concerned, but interested by the fact that we haven't gotten a lot of tire heat. Even through this first quarter or third of a lap here, I expected that tires would move the pressure a little bit and help us out just to get through some of these corners. But a lot of grip, and that could be because of track temp as well. But it's interesting to me that we're not having nearly as much grip as I thought we'd have after a handful of corners in the laps. Again, just a smidge wide that we keep on the track that time. Didn't even run over the curb. Line of least resistance. I can't help looking at this beautiful paint scheme. You've probably mostly seen me if you're on iRacing in the blue version of this car that I run most often, but I figured as we're getting nearer to the end of my iRacing career, this is I think the second full year I'm going to have. I think Russell did these paint schemes for me like a year and some change ago. I decided to go with the purple. I really only ran it during May for CF Awareness Month, which is coming up again, by the way, in May, so everybody support CF Awareness. But I figured I'd run the purple car again, so see if it gives me some different look than the blue one had. So again, just a nice lift through there, a little bit of brake to keep the front end in. Just use third here, don't need second. Car does stop just fine. Much better through there, at least much more smooth. May not have been faster, who knows, but so we'll keep this here. Very tricky to get actually through this coming up section right here. It's very, very much one of those corners where you're just kind of hoping you aim in the right spot and don't mess it up. So a little better there on entry. Leaving third here, see if that works a little better. Entry was a little better, exit might not have been as good, but we made it. It's all good, we made it. So getting towards the middle part of the track here now. We're a handful of sectors away from being halfway. Hello again, Rebel Tree. Just a little bit of a brake to make sure everything floats in. So easy to overrun that. Easy to overshoot this, like I said last time. Weave it through here. We're going to leave it in third since last time we didn't need the downshift. Much better. We're going to run just a little bit wide, but no harm there. A little bit of pavement. Thread it through here. Be a little more cautious through miss hit miss now. A little more brake. Again, you're going to have to brake in the middle there. It does close up on exit, but we managed to keep it on the road. That's the important bit. Slowest corner on the track. Fed through there okay. The apexes, even though it was a little bit clumsy. And on the Forza version, at least, that's half right there. So, see what we can do through here. This corner deceptively long, deceptively slow, but we make it again. Not the best, but that's okay. speed up through there. That corner behind me, right, and there's a ton of fun in the Caddy. When Cadillacs were here, I ran some of those with Trent, and that was an absolute blast there. I was fortunate to win one, ran top 5 in a couple others, and died in the big one. So in the shadows there, that corner, you gotta get the exit as well as you can. Long straightaway uphill here. This car obviously really going to struggle going up this hill, but all the way up to the top of 3rd gear. We're going to be hurting pretty much all the way down this. The kink left-hander at the top here, I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to take it flat. We're going to try it, and if we die, we die. But yeah, so we're just about 5 minutes into this lap now, so we're past halfway. We're getting down to it. I said that the goal might be to get under 8 minutes. I have no idea if that's totally unrealistic or not. I don't remember if I had an incident in my lap or ran off track or what, but 8:11 definitely seems doable. We'll see. But we're going to take this flat and see what happens. We should be fine, but, you know, I've seen weirder shit in this car. Apparently it does not have the handling at some corners I remember, so easy flat though, no problem. About 3 minutes left here to the previous record from several years ago before I was good. And obviously the race tires will help. We'll go right here to the middle of that curb. Come off here. We can take the carousel in this car. A lot of cars with big air and bodywork and stuff can't take it because they'll just screw up and just drag the ground. This car you can pretty much chuck it in there however you want. It'll hold as long as you make sure you're on the concrete. We slid out a little bit there, but not too bad. Made it through. Again, right to the top of 3rd gear. Let it float out here. Again, another tricky couple of corners. Just a lift there to get the nose turned in. A little lift there. 3rd, get off of there nice and smooth. This is one of the scarier parts of the track because you're going so friggin' fast. Just turn in there. A little bit of a brake drag just to come back. All the curb there. This corner is a little tricky right here. I'm going to drive the earth as I underdrive a little bit, but we got a little sideways. So that was actually a good thing. Leave it in 3rd. Fun corner here. Push hard again right up to the limiter in 3rd gear. Missed my turn in completely. Up to YouTube corner. YouTube fame. So that I embarrass myself my first 4 attempts. But we made it. Another tricky corner here, especially in GT cars at night, because it feels like you're through, and that curb sticks out there just a little bit and can really bite you. So getting down towards the end of this now. Don't think we're going to be under 8 minutes, but hopefully we can beat the record. Over the bridge here, just going to have a little bit of a lift to the car just a little bit. Keep it in 4th, which is right in that weird rev range of being very slow. Man, well, with less than a minute left here, 8:11 is a pretty good looking lap apparently. Just about run off track there, try to straighten out as much as possible. Get the car turned in here. Just about 32 seconds left here for our lap record. Ooh, big snap, but we're good over leaving the 2nd carousel. A little bit sketchy. 20 seconds to go. We should be able to make it. Little lift there. Gonna leave it in 4th. We're just gonna plow through here, flat. There goes 8 minutes. 8:01. We got 10 seconds to get to the gantry. 8 seconds. 5 seconds. Wow, we are just barely going to make it. 8, 10, 8. You can't cut any closer than that. That's maybe I had my weather wrong. I don't recall back then what kind of weather I ran. But obviously my extra grippy tires and such was not I say extra grippy, but some of the different things that have happened to iRacing obviously have taken some of that speed back away. I do know that back around that time, if you look at some of the lap records and stuff that were set at different tracks, at some point back in that time, the car was much faster. I don't know if there was a physics change or some other kind of update to the car. But I do know that before we got this race tire about a year ago, the year before that, they made some other adjustment to the car, and it was much slower than it used to be. So maybe the race tire added grip, but didn't bring back as much of that speed as I thought it would have. But either way, there's our lap time. We did beat my previous 8 minutes 11, just barely. I don't remember what the decimal was on that lap, but it's probably on that YouTube video somewhere, TheKrizel1. So if you want to go watch that and listen to my terrible commentary and watch my terrible driving standards and terrible filming from my mom, thanks, Mom. But this has been fun. It took about, what, took 25 minutes, so this is going to be quite a long video, but that's okay. So I appreciate everybody for stopping by. 8:10:8 is our time. Track temp did go up about 7 degrees to what we were doing this year. But thanks again, Russell, for the paint scheme. Everybody in JKR, everything else for supporting this and making it fun. I hope to be back a little bit more regularly now on the sim, so that'll be good. But yeah, that's about all I got. I've been in the process of writing a book, so if you know me more personally than from YouTube or iRacing, be sure to keep a lookout for that. I'll keep updating. And there will be an iRacing chapter in that book, I promise. It's been a big part of my life. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this not very good lap of performance from me, but maybe we'll do a similar thing at Summit Point sometime once I get back a little more acclimated, because that's a much more fun track to go and hot lap at especially. So we'll see what I got moving forwards, but thank you all so much for stopping by, and until next time, bye.